Hello everyone, I am Undead Horde and welcome back to my channel. And this is the second time I've recorded this video. I do apologize. I had to trash the first one because the gameplay audio was way too loud for how quiet my voice was, and I'm like, no. So this gives me an opportunity to make a much shorter video, and I'm very grateful for that. The other one was 30 minutes long, and I want to try to keep things under 20. So I posted a poll on my YouTube, and people spoke. 4 people to be exact. And the 3 options were: do I just keep doing, like, what type of content people want to see? And was it just stick with the Undead Horde daily videos, free to play a few times a week, or the challenge videos, which would be like a couple of live streams a week plus a video whenever I could get it posted. And 2 people had, one person had voted on the Undead Horde only, one person had voted on the challenge videos / like live streams, and 2 people voted on a free to play account with a couple of videos a few times a week. And then somebody had actually also had commented, I believe on that post, saying about being able to do content around either, like, because they really like watching arena, like live arena, and doing champion builds of underrated champions. And so I'm terrible at arena. I would like to learn arena, and I mean, you're going to get live arena videos out of me, but it's going to be like a noob attempting to do arena and just watch me completely butcher it. So videos like that will happen. However, the more interesting thing to me would be doing underrated champion kind of videos and guides and trying them out. And as a part of the challenge series, I would be like a big part of that series. And so, but I'm also going to try to incorporate it into like other accounts and stuff like that the best that I can. With that being said, we can actually, we're going to take a quick look at the account right now, and then, well, I guess first things first, as I need to talk about the actual content at hand. The majority of the content I'm going to be making, probably now, it's going to be the free-to-play content. That's going to be my bigger focus. It seems to be what more and more people are interested in when it comes down to Raid Shadow Legends, and if I want to play the YouTube game, I kind of just have to play the game. That doesn't mean I'm going to not be doing the other content. It just means it's going to be a little bit fewer and far between. For the Undead Horde content, I'm going to be still posting it. It'll just be only when things of actual significant value happens on the account. The account has become very mundane, very same thing every single day. I hate recording it, and I'm sure you guys hate watching it. And so now I'm going to be trying to do things as closely as I can to like actual new content on that account. New champions to take a look at, even champion builds that I've done on the account would be things. Have I hit any like major milestones on like dungeon stages or clan boss, or obviously the big one being faction wars, and then I would come in and talk about it then. But other than that, it's not going to be like dailies anymore. When it comes down to the challenges, I'm still going to be doing the live streams. I just have to figure out like how I want to do the live streams. If I want to do it full face, full voice, chit chat with people and go for it, or if I would rather do it like late at night, silent stream, don't really worry about talking with people and stuff like that, just kind of more or less just have the gameplay running if people want to watch it and see what happens, and great. If they don't, then whatever. And just the live stream is just going to be like more like a video diary to track my progress and to make sure I'm not lying or bluffing about the things going on. And then I'll get that stuff posted, because I am still like legit interested in both those accounts. I just need to figure out how those are going to work within my life and the actual balance, so I don't come burnt out with them. And then the free-to-play account I am going to be working on. I'm going to be setting up basically goals for myself to try and reach in between videos or just things like that, and then kind of posting as I go, and then trying to maybe also do like this is what I've learned along the way, or these are the champions that have like really helped me out the best, and these are the builds that I have on them and stuff like that as I kind of go along, and maybe that'll resonate with some people, who knows. So where the account is at right now, I used Cobb's link, because Cobb is my favorite Raid Shadow Legends content creator. He had a pretty good looking link. That's one that I used, and that's also what is mainly suggested when you start off a new free-to-play account. I will also be noting that this free-to-play account is going to be something that's going to be a lot closer to what I guess like the normal way of playing would be. And so I'm going to try to keep things as close to that as possible, and actually doing things in the suggested manner, using a link, using the best starter, trying to hit these goals first, really pushing through the Arbiter missions, stuff like that. Like, I'm actually going to try and play things closer to how other people, how these big content creators say that the game should be played if you want to play things at the more resource heavy style of gameplay. Not wasting energy, only doing summons during events and things that make sense. CVC events, champion training events, or 2x events for when it comes down to summons, and X, Y, and Z. And we're going to do the best that we can to do that and see what happens, I guess. See if these content creators really have come out with a good system, or if it's kind of like whatever. I feel like I've played the game long enough and have a long enough understanding of the game enough in which I can kind of be like, well, maybe it works out this way, maybe it doesn't, but whatever. And so I guess now moving forward, let's talk about the champions and artifacts that we have. So obviously we have Corvus, the Corruptor. We got him, he was one of the legendaries, a part of the link. And you can tell we actually have 2 artifact pieces on him right now. I actually got these for free from the reward calendar. So I missed a bunch of days, but we did get some of these ones for free here. We got the gemstones, and we actually got these artifacts here, which is pretty good. We obviously missed the other pieces to the artifacts, which really, really sucks, and I can't get them. But something is better than nothing. Obviously, here as well, we have the Ezio track that we can talk about. I have until May 7th to get all the Ezio stuff, and so we're going to be putting a huge grind on that. We just have these lethal pieces on him, not because I think he's going to be good necessarily in lethal, at least the pieces that I have, but because I need to put some type of artifacts on him just to get some stats going on. And so we did happen to roll a 12%, we got one roll, in the defense percentage, and we got one roll into the crit rate, and he is a defense-based champion. We'll talk about his skills here in a second, and so I thought, it's not a bad piece for just the defense, and it'll scale really nicely, plus the crit rate can't be harmful. And then the chest plate here, we do have the resistance, we have some speed. The crappier part here is the actual attack percentage roll, so this will be better as a piece maybe later on for somebody, especially if we kind of keep rolling this direction. And then we have the helmet, or then we have the flat rate HP. I meant that happened to get on there as well. For his actual skills, we can talk about him real fast. I'm not going to talk about anybody else on here. But because Corvus is new to me, and could be new potentially to other people who are watching the account, I'm going to talk about the skills and things like that. Technically, this is my second time going through it, but hey. Attacks one enemy on the A1. It's attack one enemy. Has a 40% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. So we have the big version of decrease attack on a 40% chance base, which is not bad, and could be booked up to a 60% chance. which is not horrible. Then we have on the A2, attacks all enemies 2 times. First hit increases duration of all enemies buffs by 1 turn, and second increases the duration of all allied buffs for 1 turn. I think this is a beautiful skill. I mean, attack all enemies twice is a great ability to have, especially in things where it's like heavy like wave content. Be really good for things like that. I'm sure he's got to be a pretty good beast inside like spiders, like Spider's Den even. Being able to kind of manage all that type of stuff, so that's huge. On the A3, attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance of placing a 2 5% poison debuffs for 2 turns. And then after attacking, place 25% poison sensitivity debuff on all enemies that have the 2 or more poison debuffs. So this synergizes really, really well. The 5% is the big version, which is huge and can be very good for things like, I guess, enough good for clan boss, just for having the poisons, plus the poison sensitivity is really, really nice. And for things like dragons, it's got to be good because the poison just in general is good for dragon. And this is can go up to a 100% chance, which is huge, and goes down to a 4 turn cooldown. I forgot about the A2 goes down to a 3 turn on full book. And then we have his passive is Curious Drought. Decrease the damage enemies under 5% buffs inflict by 5% less per poison debuff, stacked up to 25%. So it shouldn't be too hard to make that happen, in which you receive 25% less damage from attacks from enemies underneath the poison. Honestly, he'd be work really, really good on a poison team. So we get any good champions that can place poisons alongside of him. And once we get that passive on the Ascension, we could be looking really, really golden for help mitigating a lot of damage. And then obviously he gives an allied defense increase in all battles by 30%, which is huge. Then we have ourselves Kale to look at. Obviously we have Kale is the best starter, so we did grab him. And we can look at the artifacts on him, and I don't really think I need to look at anything else artifact-wise. So we do have the lifesteal that we got, plus a couple of offensive pieces that we got here. So these are the stats that we end up getting out of it, which is nice. A little over 9,000 HP, just under 1,000 attack right now. A little over 700 defense. We're at 103 speed, but that's his base speed. We have no additional speed so far. 58 crit rate, 56 crit damage. We have the base 30 resistance and 43% or 43 accuracy, which is really, really nice. So we have the weapon here that had a 2 roll inside attack percentage, giving us 14 attack percentage. We have the helmet, which had a double roll and crit rate, which is giving us an additional 9% crit rate, with also giving us a little bit of accuracy and a little bit of crit damage. For the shield, we got 1 roll in each crit rate and HP, a flat HP, which a flat HP obviously sucks, but it could be a lot worse. But getting the additional crit rate there is huge. The gauntlets, we're working with attack percentage gauntlets at 14 right now, with 1 roll in crit rate and 1 roll in defense percentage. On the chest plate, we got accuracy. This is where a majority of our accuracy is coming from. It's not the most ideal situation to be in, but it's okay very, very early on for achieving the accuracy stat. And then we got 1 roll in flat attack and 1 roll in HP percentage. And then for the boots, we have ourselves a flat defense boots, which really, really suck, but the other pieces were not much better. And so this was kind of the best thing we could get, especially when it came down to the double roll inside crit rate, giving us this 16% crit rate. I really couldn't pass it up this early on, and so we did stick with it. I guess other things to note here is the gauntlet that we got from the lifesteal set has HP percentage, but happened to roll twice into flat defense instead of being able to roll into the accuracy stat, and so I don't feel great about this. I mean, if I can get like defense percentage on it later on, maybe it might be okay as like a temporary defense piece, but still doesn't feel great. And then for the savage weapon, we did actually happen to get a 2 roll into speed, and it also comes with crit rate on here, so it could be good as an early savage piece as well. Now we are only wanted to spend a couple more minutes on here, so we're going to talk about the rest of this as quick as possible. The main goals that I have for the account is pretty simple. Obviously, we were going to try and get through Brutal Campaign as soon as humanly possible, but with the other goals being after that fact, or kind of coinciding along that fact is to get through Dragons 10. I want to speed run getting through Dragon Stage 10, just because I feel like having the accuracy and the speed artifacts early on are extremely good, and is something that I have not taken as seriously on other accounts the way that it really should have. And so I do want to make amends on this account and doing that, especially early on. Just having the accuracy and the speed is just so incredibly nice, and is useful on just so many champions. Especially the accuracy is just so useful on so many champions that I don't want to mess around, and I want to be able to get that going. Beyond that, as like lower things to like vaguely work on and then eventually put more full force into, is obviously your golem, your ice golem, and your spiders. Spiders a little bit more than ice golem. I feel like ice golem, there's not much there that I really need to get artifact wise off the top of my head. So obviously I need to do it just to do it, number one. But and obviously for tournaments maybe later on, where I might want to get some of the rewards from ice golem tournaments, I want to have a good chance at getting the points that I need for that. But the big thing is, to me, more is actually the spiders, just because accessories are so huge, and I feel like has definitely turned around the usage of some champions, and so I want to go after accessories. Another big thing is that because the event dungeon is going on, I do want to be grinding through the event dungeon, because I can get accessory pieces from there, but also because there is the chronophage gear that I can get, and chronophage can be really, really nice. Even at like a 2-piece, it can be extremely helpful, and so I do think I want to have at least some type of chronophage gear ready in the wings for me moving forward, even if it's just like some small pieces as temporary placeholders, just to get the stats out of it. I should put at least a small priority into it. And then clan boss is always like a thing. I'm going to be making a separate clan on another account, and then giving this account ownership of that clan so I can save the resources on this account. And I'll be trying to grind through and do as best I can on clan boss as soon as possible, because the rewards are just so good. If anybody wants to join that clan, then you can. I will have that posted in the next video about what that will look like if anybody does. But if that's going to happen, I really want people to be there and be active with it as much as I am going to be as well. Other than that, I don't think there's too much more to really talk about. Champions, I mean, I'm going to 6-star Kale as soon as possible. He's like the main goal, main focus right now. And then once I get the gems, I'm going to buy his masteries. And I'm going to try to build them for clan boss being the biggest focus, even though he will be my campaign farmer as of right now, unless I get somebody better. He will be my focus as the campaign farmer. but I feel like even getting the clan boss masteries on him, it doesn't change how well he can do as just a farmer. Especially if you get good enough pieces of artifact on him, it really shouldn't change too much here. Now there is a promo code that I completely forgot about that we're going to try and do, that it looks like, yep, go fast. I'm going to try this one here that I saw. I am very interested in. Oh, we also have Tagore, because we are now level 10, so that is huge. And we have ourselves a little rabbity boy from the looks of it. So we're going to take a quick look at him, and then I'm actually going to close out the video here. Razelvarg, I think. He has, on the A1, Hopping Mad, attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit will fill this champion's turn meter by 5%. Damage based off of attack and based off of speed, which is really cool. Sounds like he's going to be a very good champion for Fire Knights, which is great. Knight of the Rabbit is the A2. Sorry. Whoop. Jeez. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. And then heals its champion by 10% of their max HP for each leech debuff placed by this skill. Again, this is both attack and speed for this. A 4 turn that can be booked down to a 3 turn and can go up to a 100% chance of placing the leech. And so what, I'm healing 20%, which is not bad. Keep up if you can. On the A3, attacks all enemies, places a 30% increased speed debuff and a 50% increased accuracy debuff on all allies for 2 turns before attacking. And again, attack and speed can be booked down to a 3 turn. The passive, each increased speed debuff placed by the champion increases this champion's speed by 5 stacks up to 100. Holy crap. I feel like he can get out of control quickly. That's amazing. And then he's got a speed aura of increase all ally speed by 20% in all battles, which is even better than the Corruptor. The Corruptor is nice to have the 30% debuff, the 30% defense, which can be used in certain situations for sure, but I think overall the speed is so much better, especially in like arena. And so we do have ourselves a phenomenal start here. Obviously everybody knows all about Tagore, so I don't need to go over him, but I will be building him soon. Order of champion builds, I'm not fully sure. Like, I know Kale will be my first 6-star, and I want to be working on Tagore very early on, but I'm probably only going to like 5-star Tagore and then kind of go from there. I don't actually know between these 2 champions who is better to put the books in. They both seem really good, and I like them both. I'm leaning more towards Corvus just for personal preference reasons. I love poisoners. I love people who attack based off of defense, and I feel like he's going to be really good in things like Dragon's Lair for Spider and for Demon Lord, which is like the big 3 things that I want to have a focus on. And so this is where I'm definitely leaning more towards. Razelvarg is good, but I think a lot more of it have him, at least for like utility purposes. I'm gonna find like Fire Knights is great, but I'm not a big focus on Fire Knights type of a person. And like maybe arena, but I'm not 100% sure, so I still have to figure that out. But we'll talk about it later on. Thank you guys for watching. If you did, please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in another video soon. Peace.